Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is a great day, and I'll tell you why, because it's like Christmas. After Christmas, I started receiving some of the boxes for the car. Combination of things from lease parts, some forum members that hooked me up, random people on Facebook, and so yeah, just started sourcing everything. So figured I'd do a change of pace and just cover some of the stuff that I've received already, as well as the interior that I had recovered in the new suede, minus the dashboard, which I'll be picking up later this week. So, gonna drink some coffee. I'm gonna set up the stand, and I'll start to do some unboxing, starting with the small stuff. Stand by. All right. So, in no particular order, just gonna go over some of the stuff that I've received already. Starting with the boring stuff, silicone hose. So I'll just cover the stuff that I've received, and then the reason why I ordered it specifically. I've restored a lot of cars over the years. I've probably at least 100 plus cars under my belt, maybe 125 at this point. A lot of them I registered, some of them were just flips. But yeah, so over this process, I've learned kind of what materials to use, which ones to cheap out on, or cut corners on, which ones I really shouldn't cheap out on. So yeah, look, something like this, silicone hose, it sounds really dumb. And yeah, this is an Amazon one, it's made in China. There are higher end ones, but the important thing is temperature resistance, silicone versus regular rubber that you would get from a hardware store or from an AutoZone that'll just fall apart, right? They don't last that long. They stretch and generally not good. So the silicone hose, I'll use this for any of the vacuum lines I need to replace that are this size diameter inside, and I'll be good with that. Second, I have to secure a lot of the stuff throughout the car. So I have double-sided tape from 3M. It's VHB. If you know what that means, it's basically their high sticky red tape. So I have that, as well as regular foam double-sided tape, and I'll be using a combination of that for the red tape, likely for the bottom of the bumper, for the diffuser where it attaches, as well as some of the interior components that I'm really not going to be taking out too often. And then with the Lotus, there's a lot of double-sided tape and Velcro, so the combination of the two. So I'll be using Velcro like this to adhere the stays, or like the side panels right when you walk in the car, right? Those panels, they're Velcroed down, and this is what I'm going to use to duplicate that. Okay, cool. This is a little hack, the AC dryer. Anytime you crack the system open, you need to replace the dryer, right? So I found this part number is compatible. This is the DAF 171509 from EAC. Took a little bit to get here. It was relatively cheap. I think 30 bucks versus paying Lotus for theirs. So this is a cross-compatible one. Cheap, but not a cheap part. It's better to go through the supplier rather than getting it right from Lotus. Now we get to some of the fun stuff. So this is from the lease parts. I already mentioned in an earlier video the plastic screws. So I got the wheel arch screws. That's what these are labeled for. So a lot of plastic screws I'll be replacing with the OEM equivalent. So they'll be good until next time you have to take it apart. It sounds stupid, but wheel nuts. The nuts that were on the car, some of them were missing. Some of them were just like badly rusted. So I'll just renew them. This was cheap. They're 17 millimeter. There's also a 17 millimeter socket you need. The 17 millimeter socket that I had was too fat on the outer diameter, so I couldn't actually get it to engage with the lug nuts. It was going to mar up the wheel. So I got a specialty one. This is made by Nielsen. But regardless, 17 millimeter shallow to get to the lug nuts. Sway bar end links. The sway bar end link on the driver's side was kind of suspect. So why not replace both of them? So I got a set. Okay, under tray quick connects. That just seems like a really good idea. This is the under tray for the engine. It's a little bit banged up. I still have to straighten it, but when it's finally straightened out, this is what I'm going to use to put it up. Quick connects, kind of a no-brainer. Makes it just easier to get access to underneath the engine. Which is always a good thing. What else do I got here? These are, I'm not going to take them out. These are the shark fins. If you know what I mean by that. They're basically the rear wheel arches. if you had rock stones or whatever that were being kicked up by your front wheels, this is basically a guard. These were applied, I think, in the later models. They kind of look cool, but I actually got it because it's purposeful. Yeah, the whole thing is PPF'd anyway, but I figured an extra layer of protection never hurt, so why not? And mud flaps. So the A panels, I have new ones on the way. They're carbon fiber. I don't know what brackets they're going to come with, but this kind of seemed like it would be prudent. They are stainless steel. Looks like they're painted, but they're still stainless. And they're lightweight, I guess, because they have holes drilled in them. The stock ones on the stock mud flaps were rusted. So I figured stainless steel, it was like $30, why not? All right, so that's everything from lease parts. Next, taillights. Earlier video. Stock taillight. I thought this was ugly. Why is it yellow? Well, it's because the chrome plating fell off. And a lot of people complain they don't really like the design of the OEM taillights. It's got this reverse taillight cover, but there's no actual bulb in it from the factory, which is peculiar. And so they did a separate reverse light that's underneath it. So it's like a design aesthetic consideration, but it's kind of weird. So I had no problems with getting rid of this and replacing it with Greg's Racing product. So I got this used off of a forum member. I'll give him a shout out later. But got this used. It's the GRP, I think version 4 or 3, whatever. It's still an improvement over the original, like you can see. And then I got the carbon fiber trim. Carbon fiber trim is genuine carbon. And this was from, I don't even know. I'll pull up the name later, but or I'll put it in the description. But it's actual carbon fiber, UV coated, yada yada, and it just looks great. So if you look at the comparison between the two, it's really cool. Plug and play, uses the factory plug, but you can see there's some plugs missing because some of them went to the non-existent fog light. All right, cool. So there's that. And then the big one. It's going to take me a second, so I'm going to stop the video and then start recording. But I have a big box here that I have to open. So let me go get a knife. All right, got my trusty knife, opening this box. Before I actually crack it open, I'll just preface by saying the exhaust system that I had in the car, and I could go over it, but basically it had a 2.5-inch inlet, and then the catless downpipe that went to it or whatever that led up to it, also 2.5-inch pretty much throughout. The design of the exhaust system is definitely superior to stock. It's valved, but it's basically two Borla Type S mufflers. One of them is bypassed when the valve is closed. Or I'm sorry, yeah, one of them is bypassed. So you're basically pumping all the exhaust through the one muffler. Then when it opens up, you have the flow through the two mufflers. But whatever, it's a good design. And I only heard the car for 10 seconds. It sounded pretty good. I probably would be completely content with it, but came across this. Not really going to elaborate where, but when I'm getting a really good deal on it. I consider it a really good deal. And it's like kind of one of those exotic exhausts that you only hear about on Lamborghini, Ferrari. So it definitely piqued my interest. And I kind of did a little bit of research. It's meant for an Evora GT. So I'm not 100% sure it's going to fit, but I'm going to find out tonight. So I'll do that after this video, but I did want to just do the unboxing here so you can see what it is. And hopefully it's everything I thought it was going to be. So, used exhaust. Get this down. And, ooh. Oh yes. All right. That is pretty sick. All right. If you know what this is, I don't really have to say much else. Capristo. Capristo? Not too sure how you say it. It is German. I love German stuff. So even though this is kind of a British/Japanese drivetrain car, my love for German cars, I had to put something on it. So Capristo, top of the line, right? I don't think it gets much better than this. Very expensive exhaust, very nice exhaust. And this is doesn't say when it was made, but It was on a 2021 Evora GT. Unfortunately, the woman that had it, she had car totaled and took this off and then sold it as used. But regardless of what I have to do, I'm going to make it work because this thing is sick. It's just a beautiful design. Look at this. It's all nicely tigged. It's got this nice amber color to it. It's kind of a shame you're not going to see it when it's bolted up on the car. You can see where it's making contact with the sway bar probably here. 2.5-inch inlet. I don't know what this little thing is. I guess that's part of some kind of vacuum sense. I'm not sure. But this is also electronically controlled, so there should be a controller in here. See if everything's in the box like it should be. Yeah, there you go. So you got your solenoid and the controller. It's a little key, so it's like a little key fob on it. So I already downloaded the manual. It's actually, the one I downloaded was in German, which is kind of funny, but I'll run it through Google Translate if I can't find the English equivalent, but I'm not really intimidated by it regardless. What this allows you to do is basically have 4 different modes. Look, it's a kind of a mix between a sport and a luxury car, right? That's why I went for the Evora instead of the Exige, although the Exige would have been sick. I like the ability to be able to quiet things down and not get attention. So if I'm driving through an area that's heavily patrolled by police or it's the end of the month and they need to meet quota, I've actually been pulled over right down the street from my house because, you know, they needed to meet quota and they let me go. But if I could quiet the car and just not attract attention, then that's why I wanted it. So Capristo, though, supposed to sound insane. I couldn't find any sound clips, so trust me, I'll make sure to have a sound clip of this thing when it's up and running because it's going to sound wicked, I'm sure. So, yeah, anyway, that is it in the garage. So, going to take a walk downstairs and show you what else I have in the interior. Stand by. All right, welcome to my messy basement. Just going to walk through the trim, the headliner, the carbon fiber bits, or whatever. I'll be stepping in and out of this. Hopefully the lighting is sufficient so you can see all the detail, whatever that's necessary. But basically, we'll start with the box of suede that I have here. So went to a local upholstery shop. It's Tiza. I've used them in the past with the headliner on one of my Audis, and he did a great job. And so I asked them to recover all of these bits in suede. So this is genuine suede. It's not Alcantara. It's the real deal. And basically, he charged me a little under $1,000 to do all of the interior bits. So everything has been professionally recovered. This is not stuff that I was willing to do myself. It wouldn't look right. I know, you know, I'm good with mechanics and stuff, but finishing trim like this, definitely out of my expertise. So anyway, you can see that he did a really good job with it. Everything's glued down. It's all really nice and tight. I'll do a before and after picture overlaid right here. And now you can see what they look like now. So these are the side steps that I mentioned a little bit earlier. And my plan is I'm going to stick down a carbon fiber kind of like an inlay or whatever on top of this. It came in, I think, the 410, but basically the newer Evora, some of them had it. I managed to get a set of used ones that need a little bit of polishing, and I'll just kind of glue those down or Velcro them down on top, and that way these will be a little bit scuff-proof when you're entering and exiting the vehicle. Center console, equally the same, and then the headliner. So that's a big one. Headliner, I had to treat the other side of it with antibacterial because of the fact that there were mice and whatever living on top of it. There was some foam that was chewed in, but it looks great now. So it's sanitized and all brand new fabric. This is just really nice. It's got a really nice feel to it. I think the black is going to look awesome. And then, of course, the A-pillars on the inside I also had colored, and the sun visors colored in black suede as well. So everything's going to be matching black suede, black suede. The only part I did not get yet is the dashboard, which is being recovered in a combination of vinyl and suede. And so I'll kind of go over that when it actually shows up. Just staying with the carpet type of stuff. You could see that the factory mats, I was able to recover those. They all look like they're in really good shape. Maybe I'll use my extractor on them. All the little carpet trim bits, I ran this through my washing machine, which probably wasn't the smartest idea, but I put it on delicate, cold wash, and I actually ran it through twice just to make sure that it was 100% clean. And they look great. I ran my vacuum over them, and you know, they're basically a 8 or a 9 out of 10 in all regards. I'll jump over to the seats. The seats, I used leather honey, and you know, kind of massaged them and cleaned them up with gentle leather cleaner, leather honey, clean them again, leather honey, let the leather honey sit on it for a day and then wipe that off. And so seats are in really, really good shape. There are a couple of dents. This is the driver's side one. You can see there's a dent in this bolster, and then there's, you know, a little bit more severe dents on the actual padded portion. When you sit in the seat, you don't feel it. But I actually tried using leather honey to soak this, and then my heat gun, I put it on a low setting and just try to massage this out. It started working, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do this during the summer. When the leather is nice and hot, I'll just apply the leather honey, and I'm not gonna leave it in direct sunlight, but I feel like this'll come out a little bit better if I just massage it in the heat. Okay, this is the rust I was talking about with the A panels, so that's why I got those stainless brackets. And then this has a little mark on it on the PPF. It's not even really the paint as much. Maybe there's a little bit of the paint, but these are going to be replaced with carbon fiber, and then the stainless brackets, done. The center vent in the hood, this is the access panel rather, not the center vent, but there's nothing wrong with it, but why not get a carbon fiber piece? So got the carbon fiber. I'm happy with this. It's nice and light. It's got all the factory holes in it. Pretty sweet. Okay, cool. And then the last carbon fiber bit that I have here is the A-pillars. Now these wasn't 100% happy with. I did put a post on the Facebook group for Lotus Evoras, but you know, you can't really see it in this light, but it's a little bit oxidized. It's like a different shade, almost like a yellow here instead of a gray. You could kind of see the contrasting between these two, where this is more of a carbon fiber look, the access panel, and then the A-pillar is a yellow. So I did send a note to the company that I got it from, and they said send it back. Of course, I'm gonna have to pay, and they're in Netherlands, so I'll see if it really bothers me that much. Wow, a little upset that I just dropped it, but hey, whatever, it's still fine. I'm gonna try polishing this first, just to see if that'll improve it. I don't think it will, but I'll give it a shot anyway. Okay, and then what you can't see, and you just have to take my word for it, is I also got the aluminum racing radiator from Wizard. So it's stuck back here. There's the box. Got that from a forum member on Lotus Talk. I think Sickly Scott. So thank you for the hookup. Really appreciate it. I think that's it. So that's it for now. I have a lot of other audio stuff that's coming in, but I'm going to do a separate video on the audio just because there's a decent amount there. And then I also made a decision on my security system. So I'm going to be replacing the security system. Again, I'll do a separate video on that. So this is it for now. Appreciate you watching this video. It's nice to just have a change of pace. And then I'm going to put some of this stuff away so it doesn't drive the wife crazy. And I'll get back to work on trying to fit the exhaust. So I'll see you next video. Thanks.